everyone, this is Jane with Barlow Herbal, and happy Sunday, April 23rd of 2023. Now today is a really perfect day moving forward to start really bringing the positive things into your life, the things that are happening that are good, along with all of the things that you are looking at and watching that might cause you a little bit of distress or discomfort or a little bit of a negative outlook, or maybe a lot of a negative outlook on what is happening in the world today. It's easy to get caught up in all of the things that confirm our deepest fears, our deepest beliefs, the things that we watch and listen to, and all of that stuff we talk about all the time. But I think it's really, really important to balance that with the good things, the things that inspire us, the things that give us hope in humanity. And I know that for me, I have to really be conscientious with the things that I allow into my mind and into my energy field. And if you think about all of the things that are happening in the world, and there are many people who still don't even realize what's happening. And if you're confused by that, I would suggest that you do start doing a little bit of research and say, what is she talking about? But if you're watching this, you probably have a good idea of what I'm talking about, because there are a lot of really interesting big changes, chaotic changes that are happening in the world. And what I find, and this is very true for me, is that I will spend a certain amount of time watching things that people send me, looking at things that I see that I find and I see on my own, and different things that I follow. And a lot of them have some really dark, depressing, deep, dysfunctional things that are proving that there are things that are happening that are crazy. But what I find is, in order for me to stay in a place of positivity and high vibrations, I need to focus on things that give me a pop of hope and positivity and a realization of why we're really here and how important it is that we pivot through these times that seem tough, pivot into the positive. So I really had this conversation that kicked this off with my niece, who is the same age as my son. She's 40 years old. Actually, she just turned 41. And we had a great conversation about how important it is to bring in the positive and to remind each other, because we share a lot of information about what's going on in the world. She's a very enlightened person, and she's a planner. And sometimes we get so caught in these things that we know are happening that are less than optimal and could really take humanity in a different direction. And we forget to remind ourselves that there are positive things happening. There's good people, there's good systems that are actually being built right now, and we need to remind ourselves of those things so that we can stay in a place of love and high vibration, and we can be part of the change as well. So that was really, the number one thing that really just came through very, very big for me this week is the reminder to stay in a place of positivity, regardless of everything that's happening. So I had two big thoughts that came through that I'm going to expand on today. And the first one is this, is that you will never be able to please everyone. I mean, really think about that. Even some of the people that we hold in high regard throughout all of human history had their haters. Even people like Mother Teresa, even people like, Diana, Princess Diana. You could take that as, maybe a modern person. She's been gone for a while now, but she was very much loved, but she had people who didn't like her on any level. And it doesn't matter how hard you try, you're never going to please everyone. And if you can click that into place, it will do some different things for you. So no matter how pure your soul is, the reality of human beings is that we are all so different. And because of all of these differences, we are all vibrating on different levels. So this is something that's really important to remember. Some people are just not ready for kindness, peace, and compassion. They are at different places in their lives. And some people aren't ready for anything positive. I've spent my entire life being a person who always looks at the glass as half full. And I always look at the bright side of everything. And this came by me honestly from my parents, especially my mom. She was such a positive person in every single thing, no matter how dark things seemed, or maybe how, if we had a really super rough day at school, and it wasn't that she was just trying, like brush it off, here's the positive. Of course she was kind and compassionate, and she really listened to the rough times that we had, but then she always knew how to throw a positive spin on it. And it wasn't anything that took our experience down or didn't validate our experience, but she always had a way of helping us see the positive in it. So I come by this really honestly, but some people aren't ready for your positive attitude. And those might be people that you really don't need to spend a lot of time with. It's okay. It's okay to not please everyone. So you don't want to let it get to you. It's nothing personal. It's just that we're all so different. Different in things like our upbringing, our circumstances, and the environment that we're in. So we're all very different. And not only that, some of our differences come from our opinions and the different reactions that we have experienced throughout our life. Some people didn't get that positive reaction from their parents. In fact, quite the opposite. Maybe they got a very negative response to everything they did, and that was just became a normal for them as they grew up, and that was just how they were raised. So that's okay. So just because they don't agree with you, or even if they are against you or your ideas, it doesn't mean that you can't find a way to either get along with them or let them go their own way in peace. So these are all things that just kind of came in as I was thinking. Not everyone is going to agree with you or even like your positive pop on things. And the fact that you feel like there's a rise in consciousness and feel like there's an enlightenment happening with humanity. I have conversations with people that when I talk about stuff like this, and I remind them that we're mortal, I remind them that we are here in the midst of chaos, and at this chosen time to help bring about the rise in consciousness, I get two very opposite reactions from people. One is I can kind of see their eyes light up and they're like, oh, I see how you would, I never looked at it that way. And I can see how you would say that just based on you opening my perspective. And then I have the complete opposite on many times. And it's like they just think I'm crazy and I'm just a person who can't look at reality for what it is, and I'm a little bit kooky and crazy, and honestly, this has been happening my whole life, even since I was very young. So the fact that I've had people disagree with me with what's been happening the last couple of years, it really doesn't faze me too much. And I have had moments where I've been triggered, and I've triggered people as well. And it's really come to this most beautiful place where it's like, okay, I'm going to let you go with your own opinions and your own reactions, and I'm going to let you go in peace. I don't need to argue with you. And, I'm a person who actually really doesn't enjoy arguing at all. I am totally willing to look at someone's perspective, look at their worldview, have a really good conversation, because we are here for conversations and connections and growth. This is why we're here. And honestly, it is one of my favorite things is to help give someone my own perspective while they give me their perspective, and to really contemplate each other's ideas and opinions and realities of what they see in the world. Because just because I have my own reality doesn't mean it's exactly the right one for everyone. Now, it might be exactly right for me, and it can help guide me through this lifetime and the experiences that I have and that I want to have. But if I get to a point where someone just wants to be combative and really just argue for the sake of arguing, and I can feel them bringing my energy and my vibrations down, I can let them go their own way and have peace with it. I can be peaceful, and I can let them go and have peace as well. To me, that's really amazing. The very thing you don't want to do is to fight back and bring more negative energy into any situation. You can simply disengage, and not in a sulky way or a pouty way, you can disengage. You can stop having a conversation that is less than something that you want to have in your life. And even so, say you're in a situation that's social and you find yourself in a negative kind of combative conversation, you can politely disengage and just listen the rest of the time and let conversation happen, and maybe even physically move yourself to another conversation. You don't have to be combative or fight back. So this I love. Let those that you differ from you. If you're different from someone, let them be different than you. Let them be different. And you will show them an example. So here's where this flows to. Be an example of someone who allows all others to have their own opinion without being affected. Move on with your life without hate. There's no need for anyone or everyone to agree with you. There's no need. People don't have to agree with you. It's all right. It's okay. Be so busy improving yourself that you don't even notice negativity coming your way. That's the goal, right? Be so busy improving yourself. Be so focused on making a positive difference in the lives of those who want to hear from you that you fail to hear from those who don't. I love that. I was like, okay, what if I'm so focused on making a positive impact on other people's lives that I don't even notice the people who fail to hear? What if I don't even notice? You're so busy. You're so busy. Like, I have days, and these are the days that I strive for every day, but I have days that are so full of busy positivity and making an impact that I don't notice any negativity because I'm so busy being positive. And it's not every day, and it's not in every moment, but those days are so full of vibrational energy that is so high that I strive for that. So let's finish this one. I have two major thoughts, and this is the first one, but let's finish it with this. Be yourself because everyone else is already taken. And this is a quote that Oscar Wilde said. So be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. And I'm sure if you're a person who's been focusing and looking at personal development, that you have heard this saying many, many, many times. So that is something that's like, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Okay, now the second major point that I really just thought was really important and goes along with this perfectly is to make a plan. So as we want more positivity, as we want more good and positive experiences and frequencies flowing into our life, we have to make a plan. So not only do you want to make a plan, but you need to be willing to go with the flow as well. So it's kind of two-pronged, right? So if you don't make a plan, the chances are that you will fall into someone else's plan. Planning doesn't mean that you're being attached to the outcome. So here's a good example, and this is something that I heard, and it's a little poem, and I don't remember the whole poem. It's been a while since I've heard it, but the poem kind of goes like this. If you plan to take your umbrella on a walk and your umbrella breaks, learn how to walk in the rain. So you might have a plan and you're all prepared for a certain situation, but the outcome is different, and in a way that you might get all wet, as if you take your umbrella on a walk, you know it's going to rain, your umbrella breaks, so instead of being angry, upset, all the things, you learn how to dance in the rain. It's like making lemonade out of lemons when life gives you lemons, right? By planning, it doesn't mean that life or circumstances will be perfect, but planning to do the work on you every single day. Work on you. Work on your emotional strength, your emotional flexibility, your emotional maturity, so that when these things happen, you're not so attached to an outcome that you've been planning for that it destroys your whole life. So things like this: planning, exercise, and eating healthy so that your body is strong, healthy, and vibrant. Planning daily rituals like meditation, gratitude, prayer, and journaling, or anything else that puts you in a great space. all of these things will have a profound and compounding impact and effect on your life, the people you attract, and how you feel about yourself. So this is personal development. This is making a plan and taking these steps. Think about planning. I will tell you, and maybe this is a really good example. And this thought just kind of came to me. So my whole life, since I was young, and I was grateful to have parents that started me on this path of health and wellness and even exercise. I picked it up when I was a super young adult. I started exercising. I was really interested in nutrition and fitness. And of course, I got that whole herbal piece that was gifted to me from my dad. And this has just been something that I realized as an adult. I plan on eating healthy. I plan my days around exercise. And when life throws you something, like I had this horrific water ski accident 25 years ago, now it's been more than 25 years, and it messed up the muscles in my leg that threw my knee off, and over 25 years, my knee was thrown out of place and it wore the cartilage out. And last year, I ended up with a full knee replacement. But here's the thing, I didn't plan on that. I never planned on having that accident. And it put me in a place where all these lifestyle habits that I did plan for, and I did make a conscious effort on making myself better just by the habits that I put into place and the compound effect that they have, that when I had this surgery, I knew how to work out hard. I knew how to push past pain. I knew what herbs to take to help me with inflammation and pain, and I didn't have to go on all the medications that the orthopedic surgeon told me that he normally puts people on. And I knew how to eat healthy and give myself the right nutrition so that I could really get the strength back and get the flexibility back. So life's going to throw things at you that are big like that. To me, that felt like a huge thing. I never planned on that. I always thought that I would never have to have something major like that happen. But it's okay that it did. And I'm so blessed that I have a good orthopedic surgeon, and I had a great physical therapist, and I had all these tools, nutrition and fitness and all these things that put me in such a great place. So I think that when we spend our time making a plan, but working on ourselves, being unattached to the outcome, how powerful is that? And then learn to dance in the rain. So my knee surgery and my beautiful rehab and all of the things that I benefited from, that was my dance in the rain. This is continuing to be that. I am 8 months out at this point right now. Yesterday was 8 months yesterday, the 22nd, was my 8-month mark of having this knee, a whole knee replacement. That is huge. I have this beautiful bionic knee. And to me, this has been a big challenge, but it is dancing in the rain. I really never thought of that until just now, since I was talking to you. So not everything goes according to your plans. When the challenges come, when the rain comes down, learn how to dance in the rain and how to flow with it then. Plan to get back on track. So that's what happens when life throws you something that's unplanned, that's a challenge, that's hard. Then you plan to get back on track, right? If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. And I believe that's Benjamin Franklin that said that. So if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. I think that's a really perfect way to end that. I also think that, let's bring this back to the very beginning, about remind yourself of all the good things that are happening. Remind yourself that there's inspiration out there. Be willing to push the negative aside and make it only, and it's not that if it's the negative, maybe look at the things that you understand are reality of the things that are happening in the world. And this is a really good time to think, what do I need to plan for? And this is something I've been talking about for a long time, a couple of years. Get food, get some food storage, put that in place. Plan financially. Get your community strong and behind you. Take care of your health. I think there's so many reasons to plan, especially now. you look at people who plan their whole life, but then they're flexible. They know how to go with the flow. They know how to dance in the rain when something doesn't go exactly like it's planned. So search out those positive, inspirational things. A few videos back, and I know I've talked about this even more than one time, but I really love listening to people that have had near-death experiences, because they give you a whole new perspective on life and why we're here and the short time we have and what they experience. There's so many similarities, and it really brings you down to why we're here and what it's all about. It's love. It's unconditional love. And it's a remembering that I believe we chose to come here. We chose to come here at this time to learn the lessons, to have the experiences, to make a difference. We chose to bring our gifts here at this time, in this pivotal time of human history, so that we could make a difference. And I do believe we forget. We forget on a pretty regular basis. And I consider myself in that category. I have to constantly remind myself, and I have to seek out those inspirational, positive things. And this is one thing that I do. When I have my little routine in the morning, I turn on my teapot. It's quiet. I sit at my kitchen counter. I open my laptop, and I have these couple of YouTube channels that I follow that there will be maybe a new near-death experience, or someone gives a 10-minute, there's a positive reminder of the amazing experience that we're here for. And this starts my day. And then I have my journal. I bring out my journal. I keep it open. And what I'll typically do, even before I look at my emails and what my day is going to be like, I'll close my laptop, and then I'll reflect. And I'll sit with a prayer in my heart, and I'll remember, by the grace of God, what I have been given and this beautiful life that we all get to experience. And then what I do is I work on, my job is to flow that out. The people I talk to, all of the people on my team that I get to interact with, the beautiful herbal medicine and products that I get to bring to the people that find me and find us. And I am just overwhelmed with gratitude, and my heart is so full. And I know that each of us can experience this if we plan and we make a conscious, concerted effort to bring these into our life every single day, and as many moments as we can, when we catch ourselves in that little bit of negativity, if someone's flowing that and we get caught in it. So the thing is to realize we're getting caught in it as fast as possible, and to disconnect ourselves from that. And it might need to be a physical disconnection. We might need to take ourselves out and get out, take a big deep breath, go for a small walk around your house or around the block. Sometimes that will clear your head, and it'll remind you of everything that we have to be grateful for. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Hit the like button. That always helps. Give me a comment. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on this beautiful, beautiful day. So thanks again for watching, guys, and we will see you next time.